How wealthy people use quantum micro-decisions to shift their money timeline fast. Stop and listen carefully, because what I'm about to reveal explains why some people rapidly shift their financial reality while you're still stuck in the same income pattern despite trying so hard. You think wealth is created through big decisions, choosing the right career, launching the right business, making the major investment. But here's the truth that changes everything. Tiny energetic choices determine your financial destiny. Every single day, you make hundreds of micro-decisions that seem insignificant. What you think about when you wake up, how you respond when someone mentions money, which words you choose when describing your finances, whether you deflect or receive a compliment. These micro-decisions feel meaningless, so you don't pay attention to them. But each one is broadcasting a quantum signal that's either moving you toward wealth or keeping you locked in your current timeline. Wealthy people, whether consciously or unconsciously, have mastered quantum micro-decisions. They make hundreds of tiny energetic choices every day that align them with prosperity timelines while you're making hundreds of micro-decisions that keep you stuck in struggle timelines. Here's what most people don't understand. Major shifts in your financial reality don't come from major decisions alone. They come from the accumulation of thousands of micro-decisions that create a frequency pattern powerful enough to quantum shift your timeline. Think of it like a ship's trajectory. 1 degree of direction change seems insignificant in the moment, but over time, that tiny adjustment changes your destination by thousands of miles. Your micro-decisions work the same way. Each one is a tiny course correction, either toward abundance or toward scarcity. Make hundreds of scarcity micro-decisions per day, and you're locked in the scarcity timeline regardless of your big strategic plans. Make hundreds of abundance micro-decisions per day, and you rapidly shift into the wealth timeline, often faster than logic suggests is possible. The quantum principle operating here is that your timeline isn't fixed, it's fluid and responsive to your frequency. In quantum mechanics, observation affects reality. Every micro-decision is an act of observation that either strengthens your current timeline or shifts you toward a different one. When you make a scarcity micro-decision, thinking, "I can't afford this," when you see something you want, you're observing yourself through the lens of lack, which strengthens the scarcity timeline and keeps you there. When you make an abundance micro-decision, thinking, "Money flows to me easily, I can have what I desire," you're observing yourself through the lens of prosperity, which begins shifting you toward the wealth timeline. Micro-decisions don't just reflect your frequency, they create and reinforce it. Wealthy people operate differently at the micro-decision level than struggling people, and this difference compounds exponentially. They think differently in mundane moments. They speak differently in casual conversations. They respond differently to financial stimuli. They choose differently in split-second reactions. These aren't big, dramatic differences. They're subtle micro-adjustments that most people never notice. But these micro-adjustments, repeated hundreds of times daily, create a completely different energetic frequency that generates completely different results. The wealthy person's micro-decisions are consistently moving them toward prosperity timelines, while the struggling person's micro-decisions are consistently reinforcing limitation timelines. What's revolutionary about this understanding is that you have complete control over your micro-decisions. You might not be able to change your circumstances overnight, but you can change your micro-decisions right now, in this moment, and every moment thereafter. Every thought you choose, every word you speak, every response you give, every internal reaction you have, these are all under your control. And when you consciously shift your micro-decisions from scarcity-aligned to abundance-aligned, you begin shifting your timeline immediately. The external results take time to materialize, but the timeline shift begins instantly with your first conscious abundance micro-decision. I'm about to show you exactly what quantum micro-decisions are, how wealthy people use them differently than struggling people, and the precise protocol for mastering your micro-decisions so you can rapidly shift your money timeline from where you are to where you want to be. This is the missing piece in manifestation, the tiny choices that create massive results. Let's master your micro-decisions. The quantum mechanics of micro-decisions. Let's understand the actual quantum mechanics behind why micro-decisions are so powerful for timeline shifting. Each micro-decision is a quantum observation event that either collapses you into your current timeline or shifts you toward a different one. When you understand the mechanics, You can use micro-decisions intentionally instead of unconsciously. In quantum physics, particles exist in superposition, all possible states simultaneously, until observed. Observation collapses the superposition into one specific state. Your financial reality works the same way. You exist in quantum superposition across infinite possible financial timelines: the broke timeline, the comfortable timeline, the wealthy timeline, the abundant timeline, all existing simultaneously. Your micro-decisions are observations that collapse you into experiencing one specific timeline. When you make a scarcity micro-decision, you're observing yourself as broke/struggling, which collapses you into that timeline. When you make an abundance micro-decision, you're observing yourself as wealthy/prosperous, which begins shifting you toward that timeline. The power of micro-decisions comes from their frequency. You make hundreds of micro-decisions per day. Each one is a quantum observation event. If 90% of your micro-decisions are scarcity-aligned, you're making hundreds of scarcity observations daily, which powerfully locks you in the scarcity timeline. If you shift to even 60% abundance micro-decisions, you create hundreds of abundance observations daily, which begins moving you toward the abundance timeline. The shift doesn't happen from one micro-decision. It happens from the accumulated frequency pattern of hundreds of micro-decisions, creating a strong enough signal to quantum jump timelines. Micro-decisions create what physicists call wave function collapse momentum. Each micro-decision has a small effect on your timeline, but they accumulate. Think of it like pushing a stalled car. One push doesn't move it much, but repeated pushes in the same direction build momentum until the car rolls easily. Your micro-decisions work the same way. One abundance micro-decision has minimal effect, but hundreds per day, sustained over weeks, create momentum that actually shifts your timeline. You go from stuck in scarcity to moving toward abundance. The momentum builds until you reach a tipping point where the timeline shift becomes permanent and undeniable in your physical reality. Micro-decisions also work through what I call fractal patterning. Each micro-decision contains and reflects your entire frequency pattern. Your relationship with $1 reflects your relationship with $1 million. How you think about small money reveals how you'll think about large money. When you shift your micro-decisions, you're shifting the fractal pattern that repeats at every level of your financial life. This is why wealthy people think the same regardless of how much money is involved. Their fractal pattern is prosperity aligned at all levels. Your micro-decisions create your fractal pattern, which then expresses at macro levels. The timing principle is critical. Micro-decisions create immediate frequency shifts even though physical results are delayed. The moment you make an abundance micro-decision, your frequency shifts toward abundance immediately. The quantum field responds to your new frequency immediately, beginning to reorganize circumstances to match. But physical manifestation takes time. This is why consistency is essential. If you make abundance micro-decisions for a week, then revert to scarcity micro-decisions, you interrupt the manifestation process before physical results appear. You must sustain the new micro-decision pattern long enough for the frequency shift to complete its physical manifestation. Understanding these mechanics reveals why wealthy people got wealthy and stay wealthy. They've mastered abundance micro-decisions. Most did it unconsciously through upbringing or experience, but the pattern is the same. Hundreds of small energetic choices every day that align with prosperity rather than struggle. You can develop the same mastery consciously, which actually makes it faster because you're deliberately choosing instead of accidentally discovering. The wealthy person's micro-decision patterns. Now let's identify the specific micro-decision patterns that wealthy people use differently than struggling people. These aren't big, obvious differences. They're subtle energetic choices in mundane moments that compound into massive results. Recognizing these patterns shows you exactly what to practice. Pattern 1. First thought management. The micro-decision happens at the level of your first automatic thought. When something money-related occurs, a bill arrives, you see something you want, someone mentions their success. Wealthy people's first thought is abundance-aligned, while struggling people's first thought is scarcity-aligned. Example: bill arrives. Struggling person's first thought, ugh, I don't want to deal with this. Scarcity microdecision, money is burden. Wealthy person's first thought, I'm grateful I can pay this. Abundance microdecision, money flows easily. They don't even speak it, it's the automatic mental microchoice that sets their frequency. Wealthy people have trained their first thought patterns to default to abundance, which means their microdecisions are abundance-aligned even in unconscious moments. Pattern 2. Language precision. Wealthy people are precise with money language in casual conversation. They don't say, I'm broke, or I can't afford it, even casually or jokingly. These aren't just words, they're microdecisions declaring their financial state. Each time you say, I'm broke, you're making a microdecision to observe yourself as broke, which keeps you collapsed in that timeline. Wealthy people say, I'm choosing to invest elsewhere, or that's not aligned with my priorities. Same external decision, completely different energetic microdecision. They're observing themselves as having choice and abundance rather than lack and limitation. This language precision in hundreds of daily conversations creates consistently different frequency. Pattern 3. Receiving micro-responses. When someone compliments them, pays them, or offers support, wealthy people receive cleanly. They say, thank you, without deflection, minimization, or immediate reciprocation obligation. This is a microdecision to observe themselves as worthy of receiving. Struggling people deflect compliments, feel uncomfortable receiving payment, or immediately look for ways to give back to even it out. Each deflection is a microdecision declaring, I'm not worthy of receiving, which blocks abundance timeline access. Wealthy people make hundreds of clean receiving microdecisions daily, training their system to allow abundance flow. Pattern 4. Problem reframe speed. When challenges arise, wealthy people quickly make the microdecision to reframe toward opportunity. Struggling people dwell in problem focus. Example, unexpected expense appears. Struggling person, why does this always happen to me? I can't catch a break. Multiple scarcity microdecisions reinforcing victim timeline. Wealthy person, interesting. What opportunity is this creating? How can I use this? Abundance microdecisions maintaining empowered timeline. They don't avoid seeing the problem, but they quickly make the microdecision to reframe it, which keeps their frequency high. The speed of the reframe microdecision determines whether they stay in abundance timeline or drop to scarcity timeline. Pattern 5. Spending micro-context. When wealthy people spend money, their internal micro-dialogue is different. Struggling people think, this is costing me money. I'm losing resources. Scarcity micro-decisions. Wealthy people think, this is an investment/exchange. I'm circulating energy that will return multiplied. Abundance micro-decisions. Same external transaction, completely different energetic micro-context. These spending moment micro-decisions happen multiple times daily, creating vastly different frequency patterns around money flow. Pattern 6. Comparison micro-responses. When witnessing others' wealth, wealthy people make abundance micro-decisions while struggling people make scarcity micro-decisions. Struggling person sees someone's success, must be nice. They're lucky. I'll never have that. Scarcity micro-decisions. Wealthy person sees someone's success, that's proof it's possible. If they can, I can. Abundance is available. Abundance micro-decisions. Each comparison moment is a micro-choice about whether you're in a scarce world or abundant world. Wealthy people consistently make the abundant world micro-decision. Pattern 7. Opportunity micro-assessment. When opportunities appear, wealthy people's first micro-response is, how can I make this work? While struggling people's is, why I can't do this. This micro-decision happens in the first 3 seconds of opportunity awareness, before conscious analysis. Struggling person immediately micro-decides toward closed. Wealthy person immediately micro-decides toward open. This determines whether they explore the opportunity, which might lead to wealth, or dismiss it, which definitely won't. Hundreds of these micro-assessments over months create completely different opportunity portfolios. These 7 patterns, First thoughts, language, receiving responses, reframe speed, spending context, comparison responses, and opportunity assessment are micro-decisions repeated hundreds of times daily. Wealthy people make these micro-decisions toward abundance unconsciously. You can make them consciously, which is actually more powerful because you're choosing deliberately instead of accidentally. Master these 7 patterns, and you've mastered the wealthy person's micro-decision frequency. The Quantum Micro-Decision Mastery Protocol. Now the exact protocol for mastering your micro-decisions so you rapidly shift your money timeline. This isn't about changing your circumstances, it's about changing hundreds of tiny energetic choices per day until your frequency shifts powerfully enough to quantum jump timelines. Practice for 60 days to see undeniable timeline shift. Step 1. Micro-Decision Awareness Training, Week 1 to 2. Before you can change your micro-decisions, you must become aware of them. Most happen unconsciously. Practice. Set hourly phone alarms. When they sound, pause and recall the last 30 minutes. What micro-decisions did you make? What did you think when you checked your bank balance? What words did you use in that conversation about money? How did you respond to that expense? Write down examples of your actual micro-decisions. Don't judge, just observe. You're training awareness of the hundreds of micro-decisions you make automatically. By week 2, you'll catch them in real time instead of retrospectively. Awareness is the foundation. You can't shift what you don't notice. Step 2. Scarcity to Abundance Micro-Reframe, Weeks 2 to 4. Now actively shift each scarcity micro-decision to abundance in the moment. Practice. When you catch a scarcity micro-thought, I can't afford this, immediately reframe it to abundance. Money flows to me, I can have what I desire. When you catch scarcity language, I'm broke, immediately correct it, I'm building my wealth. When you deflect receiving, immediately recover and receive, actually, thank you, I appreciate that. This real-time micro-reframing trains your system to default to abundance instead of scarcity. You'll do this hundreds of times per day initially. That's perfect. Each reframe is a micro-decision toward the abundance timeline. By week 4, abundance micro-decisions start becoming automatic. Step 3. Morning micro-decision imprinting, daily, entire 60 days. The first 30 minutes after waking set your micro-decision pattern for the day. Practice. Before checking your phone, make 10 deliberate abundance micro-decisions. Think 1 abundant thought about money. Speak 1 abundant phrase. Make 1 receiving gesture, arms open, accepting. Reframe 1 potential problem as opportunity. Use abundant language for 1 planned expense. Feel gratitude for 1 financial blessing. Visualize money flowing easily. Declare worthiness of wealth. Affirm abundance availability. Choose empowerment over victimhood. These 10 conscious abundance micro-decisions in the morning create momentum that makes abundance micro-decisions easier throughout the day. You're imprinting your system with a pattern before the day's challenges can trigger scarcity defaults. Step 4. Micro-decision correction protocol, throughout day, entire 60 days. You'll still make scarcity micro-decisions throughout your day. That's normal during the retraining process. Practice. Every time you notice a scarcity micro-decision, don't beat yourself up. Instead, immediately make 3 abundance micro-decisions to counter it. 1 scarcity thought. Follow with 3 abundance thoughts. 1 scarcity phrase. Follow with 3 abundance phrases. This 3-to-1 correction ratio ensures that even when you slip into scarcity, you're net positive toward abundance. Over time, the corrections needed decrease as abundance micro-decisions become your new default. Step 5. Evening micro-decision review, daily, entire 60 days. Before sleep, review your day's micro-decision pattern. Practice. Recall 3 abundance micro-decisions you made today that you're proud of. Acknowledge them. This reinforces the pattern. Then recall 1 scarcity micro-decision you made. Don't judge it, just notice it and set intention to reframe it tomorrow. This evening review consolidates your learning and programs your subconscious to continue the abundance micro-decision pattern while you sleep. You're training your system that abundance micro-decisions are your new normal. Step 6. Micro-decision accountability, optional but powerful. Share your micro-decision practice with a friend or partner. Practice. Each evening, text them 3 abundance micro-decisions you made and 1 scarcity micro-decision you caught and reframed. This external accountability makes you more conscious throughout the day because you know you'll report. It also creates positive reinforcement when they acknowledge your progress. If you can't find an accountability partner, keep a daily micro-decision journal serving the same purpose. Step 7. Celebration micromoments throughout 60 days. Each time you catch and reframe a scarcity micro-decision, celebrate for 3 seconds. Practice. When you make a conscious abundance micro-decision, internally acknowledge, yes, that's an abundance micro-decision moving me toward the wealth timeline. This micro-celebration releases dopamine that reinforces the new pattern, making abundance micro-decisions more automatic over time. You're literally rewiring your brain to prefer abundance micro-decisions through positive reinforcement. These 7 steps, awareness training, real-time reframing, morning imprinting, correction protocol, evening review, accountability, and celebration, practiced for 60 days, completely retrain your micro-decision patterns from scarcity default to abundance default. You'll make hundreds of abundance micro-decisions daily instead of hundreds of scarcity micro-decisions, creating the frequency momentum that quantum shifts your timeline. Living in the abundance timeline through micro-mastery. Let's explore what happens when you've mastered abundance micro-decisions and successfully shifted your money timeline. This transformation is profound because it affects every moment of your financial experience, not just occasional big manifestations. The first change is automatic abundance mindset. After 60 days of conscious abundance micro-decisions, they become unconscious defaults. You no longer have to consciously reframe. Your first thought is naturally abundant. You catch yourself thinking prosperity thoughts automatically. You hear yourself using empowered language without trying. Your system has been retrained at the micro-decision level, which means your baseline frequency is now abundance instead of scarcity. This feels like freedom because you're no longer fighting against your own default patterns. The second change is rapid manifestation acceleration. Because you're making hundreds of abundance micro-decisions daily, your frequency pattern is consistently strong and clear. The quantum field responds to consistent signals faster than inconsistent ones. You notice synchronicities increasing, opportunities appearing more frequently, money flowing from unexpected sources. These aren't coincidences, they're the quantum field responding to your shifted timeline frequency created through micro-decision mastery. What used to take months now happens in weeks because your signal is clean and strong. The third change is problem resilience. Challenges still occur, but they don't drop you into scarcity spiral anymore. Your automatic micro-responses to problems are now abundance aligned, so challenges become opportunities rather than evidence of lack. This resilience means you bounce back from setbacks in hours instead of days or weeks. You maintain your abundance timeline access even during difficult circumstances because your micro-decisions keep you anchored there. The fourth change is receiving capacity expansion. You've trained your system to make clean receiving micro-decisions hundreds of times, so receiving becomes natural and comfortable. When opportunities, money, or support come your way, you don't deflect or sabotage. You receive easily. This expanded receiving capacity allows more abundance to actually land in your life instead of being blocked by worthiness issues or discomfort. The fifth change is consistent prosperity frequency. Before micro-decision mastery, your frequency fluctuated wildly, abundance one moment, scarcity the next. After mastery, your frequency is stable and consistently high because your micro-decisions keep you there. This consistency is what creates sustained wealth instead of temporary windfalls followed by loss. You've stabilized in the abundance timeline through the accumulated effect of thousands of abundance micro-decisions. The sixth change is contagious influence. Your abundance micro-decision patterns become visible to others through your language, responses, and energy. People notice something different about you. Some will be inspired and ask how you shifted. Your mastery naturally influences others to examine their own micro-patterns. You become a catalyst for timeline shifting in your social sphere simply by embodying the abundance micro-decision pattern. Perhaps most powerfully, you develop timeline sovereignty, the recognition that you control your timeline through your micro-decisions. External circumstances lose their power to dictate your frequency because you know that your hundreds of daily micro-choices determine your timeline, not what's happening around you. This sovereignty is incredibly liberating. You're no longer at the mercy of circumstances. You're consciously choosing your timeline moment by moment through micro-decisions. Here's the truth. Tiny energetic choices determine your financial destiny. Not the big decisions alone, the hundreds of micro-decisions you make every single day about how you think, speak, respond, and choose in relation to money. Wealthy people have mastered abundance micro-decisions, which keeps them locked in prosperity timelines. You've been making scarcity micro-decisions unconsciously, which has kept you locked in limitation timelines. But now you know. And you have the protocol. 60 days of micro-decision mastery, awareness, reframing, morning imprinting, correction, evening review, accountability, celebration. Shift from hundreds of scarcity micro-decisions to hundreds of abundance micro-decisions daily. Watch your frequency pattern shift. Feel your timeline changing. Notice opportunities multiplying, money flowing more easily, circumstances aligning more perfectly. Your timeline isn't fixed. It's fluid and responsive to your micro-decisions. Make different micro-choices, shift your timeline. Master your micro-decisions, master your financial destiny. The wealthy timeline is waiting for you, one micro-decision at a time. Choose abundance in this moment. And this one. And this one. Welcome to timeline sovereignty. Welcome to micro-decision mastery. Your abundant timeline is being created through your tiny choices right now.